At 12 o'clock, we got probably our first big, interesting game of the day. We got Maryland, which enters this game 3-0, traveling at number 4 Michigan, which is also 3-0. Maryland, Michigan favorite 17 points on the Fox. And this is Maryland's chance for a big impact game. Let's go over the game a little bit more after I go over the stats. Taulia Tagovailoa to his brother, who's lighting it up in the NFL, by the way, and I hope to have those NFL videos at some point. He's gone 68 of 88, thrown for 895 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions to start the year. Roman Hemby on the ground has had 32 carries for 294 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Raheem Jarrett has had 11 catches for 196 yards and a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy from Michigan has gone 30 of 34, thrown for 473 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, and has an 88.2% completion percentage. Blake Corum on the ground has had 34 carries for 235 yards and 7 touchdowns. Insanity early on for Blake Corum. And Ronnie Bell through the air, the star receiver that they lost at the beginning of last year. And just imagine how much of an amazing year Michigan has if they have their best receiver. But they do have him this year. Ronnie Bell has had 14 catches for 181 yards and a touchdown. Michigan leads the series all-time 9-1. Last 6 games have gone from Michigan from 2015 to 2021. The only Maryland victory was in 2014 in Ann Arbor. They've never won at home, so luckily they're on the road here. They've never won at College Park, so this one is going to be in Ann Arbor. I think this is going to be really interesting. This is Michigan's first real opponent, right? They've started out the year with victories against Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn. Not really teams that I would consider top-tier opponents. Maryland, on the other hand, I mean, they've been starting off the season with the hardest games in the world, but it hasn't been exactly a cakewalk. And the game I point to most recently was the SMU game last week. SMU obviously gave them quite a fight there and honestly had a chance to go down the football field and tie that game. Weird call in 4th and short to go a slant route. That's a low completion play when you're going hurry up. It was just a weird call for SMU. But Maryland ends up getting a big victory, and SMU was kind of a warm-up game, right? Michigan's a really good football team, don't get me wrong, and I think they're significantly better than SMU. But I think we can all agree that SMU is a significantly better football team than any team that Michigan has played so far. The Mustangs actually are a solid football team, and they look like a competitor in the AAC this year, which isn't saying the most. This seems to be a down year for the AAC, with Houston being disappointing to start the year, as well as Cincinnati, UCF losing to Louisville. There's a lot of flaws with the AAC this year, and it's not the strongest year for the conference, but SMU is a good football team, and it was a good warm-up game for Maryland. Michigan has yet to have that. And if I'm going to be honest, I think Michigan gets punched in the face here early. Right? Michigan has been playing some really lackluster opponents, and Maryland's actually not a bad football team, and I expect Maryland to come out here and punch Michigan in the face. I expect Maryland to be in the lead at halftime. It's kind of what I expect. I expect Michigan to kind of storm out at halftime and beat Maryland, but I do think Maryland covers the 17-point spread. I do think this is a closer game than a lot of people realize, simply because Michigan hasn't had that warm-up game yet.